Stir up your flux. Always stir up your flux. Just a little trail on the inside and the outside. You don't have to look at the outside. 3 bits of hard solder because it's a fairly wide ring. And I'm placing them on the inside because I have a pattern on the outside and I don't want to flood the outside with solder. Neutral flame as always. Gently dry out your flux. Push your solder back where it's supposed to be. And I'm heating on the inside. The flux goes clear, the solder will flow. And I move back to the other end, just make sure that the solder flows back here too. So let it cool so it's not red, quench it, and pickle it. While I'm waiting for the ferrule to pickle, I'll step drill my handle. And what we do is we go in with a small bit, the next bigger bit, and the next bigger bit, so the small one goes all the way in. Now, if you're doing this for a file, what you have to have is the small bit, that size, then halfway down, it's got to be this size, and then the bigger bit, and it's all slightly smaller than this so that when you tap the handle on, it's a nice fit, but it does have to have a tapered hole. It's the same thing whether you have it for a file or a saw handle. Out of the pickle, dry it, always. Put it on your ring mandrel, round it up using the rawhide hammer. Both ways. Have a look at it. Nice solder join, and we'll sand it back. Now that we have this on the top of a curve, we'll be able to sand it and take the smallest amount of metal off. We're just sanding on top of the curve, and when you have a strong pattern on something, if you have a really good fit and the smallest amount of solder necessary to do the job, you can have a fairly nice spot when you're done that doesn't bite into your various patterns. So check it for fit. You don't have to worry about the inside on this one because it's going on wood. And this needs to fit just snug because we don't want it to come off. And when we put it on, we'll put a little bit of araldite on as we put it on. There we are, all polished, ready to put on. And I've already checked that it fits. It's a snug fit. So we're going to mix a little bit of 2-part epoxy, put it just on the inside and slip it on. So I've got a pretty fair amount here because this is one thing that we don't want to come off. So just make sure it's mixed. Make sure that it goes on the right way. And I put it just on the bottom part because as you put it on, it'll push it up towards the top. and you can see it's pushed it up to this bit, but what I want to is make sure that that's all the way down. So what I'll do is I'll just shift the paper over, because I don't want to get glue on my bench, and tap it. Then smooth out the glue with the toothpick on the inside top edge. And we just sit it and let it dry. And this is 5-minute epoxy. If any glue is down here, wipe it off with your tissue, and then we're ready to install it. So here's our handle ready to put on. Now, a word of warning, don't use your metal files to file wood. It'll dull them. Now, also, if you're making this for a file, I would stamp the number of the file in here, because when you put the handle on, you cover up the number of the file. Yeah. I only use number 2 cut files, so it's not a problem. All of my student files are just number 2 cut. So just tap this on with your rawhide hammer. And because you filed it to a taper, it's a nice snug fit. Voila.